Okay, so in late 2025, the entire world of U.S. immigration got turned on its head. We're going to break down exactly what happened, why it happened, and what it means for, well, pretty much everyone.
And when I say changed, I mean it was like a tidal wave. We're talking brand new policies, some really hefty fees, and screening procedures that have completely reshaped the system for travelers, for workers, and for companies.
So the big question is, what was the driving force behind all this? To really get it, we need to look at three things. First, the official reason for these changes, then the new rules themselves, and finally, the ripple effect they've had across the globe.
All right, first up, let's get into the official rationale. What was the problem that these sweeping changes were supposedly designed to fix?
Okay, so right at the heart of the administration's argument is this single claim, that the H-1B visa system was being, quote, deliberately exploited. The official line was that it wasn't being used to bring in unique talent to supplement the workforce, but instead to replace American workers with cheaper labor.
And here's the data they used to back that claim up. As you can see on this chart, from 2000 to 2019, the number of foreign STEM workers in the U.S. more than doubled. That's a huge jump, and it far outpaced the growth of the overall STEM workforce in the country. And just so we're all on the same page here, let's do a quick refresher. The H-1B visa has, for a long time, been the absolute cornerstone for industries like tech and science. It's how they've brought in highly skilled global talent for jobs that need very specific, specialized knowledge.
So, with that as the official justification, the administration introduced some really massive changes to the system, and these changes hit both the process and, well, the wallet.
The first change was an absolute bombshell. A new, mandatory fee of $100,000 for most H-1B applications. And no, this isn't just a proposal. It was challenged and it was upheld in court. It's a massive barrier for smaller companies, while for the tech giants, it's just a new, very high cost of doing business.
At the same time, a totally new kind of visa was introduced, officially known as the Trump Gold Card. This thing offers a direct path to a green card, for a price. If you're willing to invest at least $1 million, you can get in. The government actually projects this will bring in over $100 billion. This slide shows another really fundamental shift. You see, the H-1B lottery is no longer just a game of random chance. It is now weighted by how much a company is willing to pay someone. These wage levels are determined by the government for every job in every location. And as you can see, if you're offered a salary in the highest tier, you get 4 entries in the lottery. If you're at the lowest, just 1. The strategy is crystal clear. Prioritize the highest paid workers.
But the changes weren't just about the money. A whole new layer of security and screening was also rolled out. This affects pretty much everyone coming into the U.S. and, frankly, raises some new questions about data privacy.
As of late 2025, facial recognition became mandatory for nearly all non-U.S. citizens. And this isn't just when you're coming in. For the very first time, this biometric tech is being used to systematically track when people leave, creating a complete digital entry and exit record for millions of travelers.
The screening process has also gone fully digital. Now, if you're applying for an H-1B visa, you and your family have to set your social media profiles to public so the government can review them. And get this, even tourists from visa waiver countries now have to provide 5 years of their social media history. It really blurs the lines between your private online life and public scrutiny. And even the very last step, the path to becoming a citizen, has been made tougher. The civics test got a major overhaul. Applicants now have to answer twice as many questions, and they need to get 12 right to pass. And the questions themselves are more detailed. You don't just have to name one branch of government anymore, you have to name all 3. Of course, these changes didn't happen in a vacuum, right? They sent huge ripples all across the globe, forcing both companies and entire countries to figure out how to adapt. So, you might be wondering, what happens when it gets way harder and more expensive to bring talent to the U.S.? Well, the companies just take the jobs to the talent. In 2025, U.S. tech giants went on an absolute hiring spree in India, creating over 32,000 new jobs. That's an 18% jump in just 1 year.
This new reality also kicked off a desperate search for alternatives. The L-1 visa, which is for transferring employees within the same company, has suddenly become a really popular workaround. Why? Well, it has no annual cap, and crucially, it avoids that massive $100,000 fee. But it's not a perfect fix. It has its own set of strict rules, like you have to have already worked for the company abroad for at least a year.
And for the individuals who are actually caught in the middle of all this, the impact is direct and often deeply personal. We're talking about much longer waits for everything, shorter work permits that create constant uncertainty,
And for people from 39 different countries, well, under an expanded travel ban, the door to the US has been completely shut, at least for now.
So when you put all of these pieces together, what you have is a fundamentally different environment for anyone who wants to enter, work, or live in the United States.
So what's the bottom line here? The new U.S. immigration landscape is way more expensive, it's way more invasive digitally, and it is laser-focused on national security and trying to attract only the highest-earning foreign talent.
And all of this leaves us with a really critical question to think about. In a world that really thrives on the global exchange of ideas and talent, what is the ultimate price of putting up a more fortified border? What are the long-term trade-offs for innovation, for the economy, and for the country's place in the world?